Hi guys, it's Lynn here. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Now guys, this is just a little video, a bit of an update on the polytunnel and how all the plants are doing in here. Now I've already made an update video for the whole of the collection, indoors and outdoors, and in the house. Links up above to the end of November cacti and succulent and house plant update, which goes into a lot more detail about how the plants are doing. This is just a little bit of an update on the polytunnel. As you know, me and Hansi, we moved from the southeast of Ireland, in Waterford, up to Northern Ireland in Belfast 3 months ago now, and we had a polytunnel. We previously had a greenhouse to house a lot of the cacti and also a conservatory where we brought all the plants into overwinter and inside the house. And because obviously we've moved to a smaller house, but we have a much better quality of life here in Belfast, guys. We are absolutely loving this fantastic city. I cannot tell you, amazing people, amazing vegan restaurants, and amazing music scene. Hans is in his element because obviously he's a professional musician. He's extremely talented. So we get to have the time of our lives here, and we have a botanic gardens on our doorstep, and also we have a fantastic cactus and succulent society here in Belfast where we've met some amazing people. So we are living the dream, guys. If there's one thing we could change about, I suppose you can hear that now, it's the weather. It's a lot wetter here than the southeast of Ireland. It literally rains every day, but we do know it's winter. And the temperatures are mild in comparison to places like Canada and other parts of the States. So we can't really complain. It's certainly a lot warmer than Sweden, where Hans is from. But as I say, we can't change the rain, but we always have sunshine when we see our plants. And they have plenty of daylight. And when the sun comes out, the polytunnel heats up a dream, guys. As you say, we have the heater going on. This is absolute godsend. We got this heater probably about 6 weeks ago, and we made a video when we got it. Links up above to that video of both the unpacking and the installing, and it's been amazing, I have to say. This is the update on it here. There are 3 settings, and as you know, this is a huge polytunnel, guys. It is 20 feet long by 10 feet wide. It is really large. It's about 5 times the size of our greenhouse, which is brilliant because it means we can put practically all of our collection out here, and we don't have to worry about having them all on tables indoors to overwinter. The only ones we're overwintering in our plant room and in the kitchen and the living room are obviously the euphorbias and some of the succulents that aren't as hardy, and some of the cacti like the mellow cacti and things like that. But other than that, the majority of our plants are out here, and they seem to be doing absolutely fantastic. And the heater has been a godsend though, guys. Not necessarily because, well, yes, it keeps it warm. We've only had to have it on so far on frosty nights, which unusually we've been getting a few of here in Ireland. We do have the weather mild, and normally we don't get much frost, but it has been a bit cooler than average lately, but it's not been a problem. And it's also helped to keep the high humidity down a bit, as I'll show you here. We've just put the heater on now because I've come in. We normally only have it on overnight, but I've got it on because I'm in here and I want to be warm. It's over 100%, not good, because cacti ideally like to be kept and succulents as dry as possible, and they're all bone dry. None of these plants are watered. They're all totally dry soil now. And that's the good news, but obviously the air humidity can be dangerous if it's damp because it can attract mould and fungi. But I usually find once the heater's been on, it goes right up then up to about 90. And as I say, it's certainly a lot drier in here than when we lived in the in Waterford, because we had a lot of them in a conservatory and it was so damp. It was the dampest, coldest house we ever lived in. It was disgusting, guys, which is why we moved into this lovely home we've got now, and I can't ask for better, I have to say. So however damp the humidity is in this polytunnel, it is nothing compared to what we had to endure in that house in Waterford, guys. And as you say, there's good landlords and bad, and we have a fantastic landlord. Even though we haven't met him, he has a lovely house here, and anything that's needed to be done, it's been done straight away. And also a fantastic estate agent as well, who've looked after us brilliantly. and our wonderful friend Rosemary, who has been absolute godsend to us with getting this beautiful house, and obviously speaking to the landlord, so we've been able to have this polytunnel out the back. We're very lucky with a landlord that does not mind. Anyway, this isn't enough of the waffle. Supposed to be an update on the plants, guys. As I say, I get sidetracked all the time. And yep, the heater, the good news is with this is we've only had to have it. As I said, this polytunnel is huge, 20 feet by 10. And we've only had to have it on 1,000 kilowatts, guys. And this heater being on for half an hour heats up by about 10 degrees. It's brilliant. There's 3 settings, 1, 2 and 3. I heard that you'd have to have it on the 2,800 to heat it up, even to keep it just frost free. But definitely, guys, this heater, we've not had to turn it off that, and we've often have it, you can set it on a thermostat where it cuts off automatically and kicks on when it drops below 5 Celsius, about 40 C, 40 degree Fahrenheit. But we've not had to worry. It keeps it up very warm in here. And as I say, we've bubble wrapped it, and we've got 2 extra covers going over this polytunnel. And although it's coated in a green sort of cover, it has it does actually let a lot of light in. It's very, very bright in here. When the sun comes out, it's extremely bright. So this is absolutely brilliant. In a south facing position in the garden as well, so we can't ask for better. So that's basically an update on how the polytunnel is and how it's been keeping all the plants. They are doing really well. There's been no sign of damage at all. There's just one that went a little bit mouldy at the top, which Hans managed to treat, but it may have been going like that anyway, and one of his plants. The rest are doing fine. As you can see, I know it's only still December, it's early days. We've got January and February to get through, but so far so good. And I have to say, really recommend one of these polytunnels, because we know you can't beat glass, or I should say twin polycarbonate, twin walled full greenhouse. Obviously it's not the same as having a polytunnel, but we are very impressed with how this has been doing for us. And as I say, it's been a bargain, because the polytunnel was only 200 sterling, well, less than 200 sterling. I think it's about 150 something, but we paid for the extra things. And obviously we've got the bubble wrap, the heater, and the floor lining, which we've lined the floor. That made a massive difference to the dampness in here, and certainly we're keeping the heat in. So guys, if you're going to be growing desert type of plants in a polytunnel, I certainly recommend if you have stone floor, or even any type of ground, cover it. We've got what you call terrapolin down, and like a bit of a foam underlay underneath it, so it's nice and spongy. But it's been brilliant, guys, I cannot tell you. This has been far better than our greenhouse, and certainly far better at keeping the heat. And this will show you what wonderful things we have here. Look at that, all in bud. This is the Christmas, or I should say Thanksgiving cactus, Lumbergia truncata, all in bud. And we have also a lot of them all coming flower. We even have one of the Ripsalidops, the Easter cacti, flowering now as well, which is unusual for this time of year. But like you say, you can never predict how these plants are. Lots more buds, and look at that, that's the orange Brazil, beautiful Schlumberger there, all in flower. And look at that, it's going to be a lovely video when that opens up in the next couple of days. So that's fantastic. But basically, I'm very impressed with the polytunnel. Me and Hans are more than pleased with everything. As I say, we've had a lot of challenges. Biggest one is the high humidity here in Ireland in general. But as I say, the trick is to keep the plants dry. We've got the winter growers, which normally indoors, when they were in the house, I probably would have given them, I would still keep them lightly watered during the winter when they're actively growing. For example, some of these, you show that's all the new growth on there. A lot of the crassulas as well, as are commonly known as the jades. These are all sorts of flowering, not so flowering, I'm going talking rubbish here, all sort of growing, new growth here. And some of the aloes sometimes flower as well, but we're keeping everything dry, I should say. There are no signs of shriveling, and hopefully they'll get through this winter with flying colours, guys. So guys, that's the update on the polytunnel, and as I say, highly recommend highly recommend getting a polytunnel if you haven't really got the flush money in the bank to buy a greenhouse. As I say, a greenhouse of this size would cost probably about 5,000 sterling, probably about 6,000 or 7,000 euros. And me and Hans have just moved to obviously moving house. We wouldn't have had the cash, so this has been brilliant for a budget polytunnel. And it is doing the job, guys, and given us the space. It has given us the space to display all our plants exactly how we want to, and it has just been the best. So, guys, that's an update on the polytunnel and how everything's doing. And I want to send you loads of love, heaps of happiness, and tons of plant power, as always, from Ireland. Until the next video, guys. Bye.